On to the third debate. This one is the topic that it is tough bosses, which is obviously video game related. This comes about a story that I heard. I don't know if you heard about this, but Let Me Solo replaced every enemy in Elden Ring with Millennia. Millennia? The big baddie.
Mm-hmm.
Melania.
Melania?
No, I don't know.
No.
So yeah,
Don't do it.
crashed her computer multiple times.
The best.
Because of the hardware. She had a 4080 in her computer and it still crashed multiple times through the playthrough. It took about 10 hours, killed this creature more than 1,000 times because every enemy was replaced. So I ask you, well, CPT asks you,
GPT.
That one.
Yes, the AIs.
The AIs ask you a question. Which is the hardest?
It's fun you have so many nicknames for each other.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's been a long relationship. So their question actually doesn't make sense. So I'm going to change the first word. But who, instead of which, who is the hardest enemy in all of video games? Could be a boss or an enemy. And Cicero, you get to choose if you'd like to go first or second this time.
I'm gonna go second.
Okay. All right. Sean, that means you're first. Who is the hardest enemy, hardest keyword enemy in video games?
I think which would have worked just because not all bosses are people. But anyway, entropy.
Well, I don't want to question the AI, but reading it sounded funny.
I'm gonna go with entropy. You know, that force where everything just gradually degenerates, because all of this media will, eventually succumb to time, and we will not be able to play them anymore.
You're talking real world empathy.
Oh, entropy, yeah, real, yeah, entropy in the real world.
Okay.
Can't play your Game Boy games anymore because fucking battery ran out.
All right, Cicero. The hardest enemy. Which is the hardest enemy of video games?
The hardest enemy of video games is the surfboard level of Battletoads versus Double Dragon.
Okay. I get that. I understand that.
That is not a who, but a which.
Yeah. So you're, in regards to the question, you are exactly the way it. So is Sean as well. Sean, entropy. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the thing that makes entropy so hard, so like it's a good boss because like it is the most difficult, but also there are steps you can take. It's not like completely unfair, like yeah, you are gonna lose eventually, but like you'll probably get bored with the game before it succumbs to the whims of time, or your little cousin with a marker or whatever. But part of the thing that makes it truly so terrifying is that you can't just defeat it with video game skills. In order to kind of like prolong yourself, you have to learn like real life skills, like how do you clean something. Like maybe my Final Fantasy VII disc got scratched before I beat the final form of the final boss. Man, I gotta learn how to like use chemicals. I gotta like somehow do some science to figure out, hey, toothpaste works on this, and how do I like carefully do that? How do I learn how to clean something out? That's like some real world skills that like gamers don't want to have to learn, but it's difficult and you got to do it.
All right, Cicero.
There's nothing like having a game where the intention of the game early on by the developers was to make it so hard that people couldn't finish it. And that's exactly what happened in this Battletoads game. I don't know why they did this, but they really did do it, and they allowed you to only have 3 lives, and you could play with another person at the same time, so that maybe you could do it. And hopefully the game, like there'd be too many images on the screen, so it would slow down and make it easier for you to play. But all of those things coming into play didn't even help most people. I mean, the fact is that most of the time, if someone says that they've completed that level or completed that game, your first thought is to say you're a liar. I don't, like, you don't have to try and impress me by lying to me. You could just tell me the truth. And for those people that have done it and they were able to do it on original hardware, there's a level of reverence and just exaltation that they deserve, and they gain from people that have played that, and everyone that has that shared experience of understanding how difficult that is. Yeah, there's nothing like it.
Okay. This last back and forth is going to be a friendly talk.
Okay.
I just want you to talk good at the opponent's arguments. So, Sean, you are going to talk good about the Battletoads surfboard level. And Cicero, you're going to come back with why entropy is such a good argument in this case. Go ahead, Sean.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that level is good for this debate because it also does a little bit of what I was talking about previously in mine, where it's teaching real world skills, where there's a danger where when something gets that frustrating, especially if you don't have a handy dandy strap on the controller, that you'll end up breaking things. And learning self-control in that matter is something that is valuable.
Cicero?
Well, here's the thing that is painful for me to admit, and that is that Sean's right. Entropy is the biggest boss, because eventually we're all going to lose to it, right? You're just, the modernity of life is just going to, like, consume us all. So so entropy is always going to be the answer.
All right. This was an interesting debate, nonetheless. Cicero, I think your surfboard level obviously was on water, I believe. I can remember properly.
It's in the sewer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if that was ice and it started to melt, your game would have entropy in it. So Cicero, unfortunately, Sean wins because his encompasses a larger portion of video games and life in general. Sean, entropy for the win, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. That was interesting.
Mike from Test Your Might here. Thanks for listening to this debate topic from the latest episode of Test Your Might. If you'd like to listen to the full podcast, check out the links below. Please subscribe to the channel over to my left and check out this playlist to my left as well. Bye.